Hey, what's up, Queen? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good. We're just doing a quick mental dialogue pop up. Glad to have you back on the show, as I like to say. If you will, Elisa, introduce yourself before we get into this amazing shoe drive that you're doing. We want to share that with the mental dialogue community and anyone else who sees it, because we love to talk to people like yourself who are moving and grooving and touching people out in the community. So, if you will, just give your introduction as it relates to today's shoe drive, if you will. Again, glad to have you back on the show, Queen.
Thanks so much, Montoya. So today I'm actually coming to you in the seat of the founder of the Sisters in Business Network Gwinnett, which is a collective of Black and Brown women from all around Gwinnett County and surrounding areas who own small businesses. They're entrepreneurs. Many of them don't have a brick and mortar. We have actually gotten together to promote each other's business, to increase visibility towards one another. And as everybody's doing something for back to school, we decided we need to do something for back to school also. So this year is so great because this is the first time that we're doing this. And everybody does, book bags and supplies. And that's great. Like we need that, right? Everybody collects some clothes for for people who have been homeless and kids and things like that. And that's wonderful. But if you ever think about a child on his first day of school or her first day of school, and when they go, they want to look sharp, right? And then those kids, you walking into school with your new kicks on, and even if you're a little kid, they're lighting up. If you're a bigger kid, you got your first pair of Adidas, Nikes, Puma, whatever that is, and you're looking sharp, you're feeling good about yourself. It boosts your self-esteem. But for children who have been unhoused in the homeless population, that is not always their reality. So what we wanted to do this year was take a walk in their shoes. And by taking a walk in their shoes, we are collecting new shoes for these kids. This might be the first time that some of these kids have had anything new.
Right.
And so we've got children from preschool to seniors in high schools that are in a campus in the Duluth area called Rainbow Village. Rainbow Village provides housing for up to 2 years for families that have been unhoused to help them get back on their feet. They provide life skills training, they provide a lot of different things. So, fortunately, now my group has partnered with them as a preferred charity to be able to support them, not only just with this, but with so many other things, because we have business owners. We're able to teach them some skills throughout. But in the meantime, we've got to get their kids straightened out first. And we really want to get these shoes. We really need to get these collected for these kids. So that's what we're
No, no, glad to have you again back on this thing. And you were also attended our mental dialogue during the Black Love Summer Tour weekend. You attended our mental dialogue lunch and learn. And so I know some of the people that were able to attend have already assisted you. And I was like, you know what? Let me bring you back for those who missed out. They really missed out on the lunch and learn. We really did our thing when it came to finances from at any age, if you will, right? We did our thing or whatever. So for those who missed out, I wanted to also make sure they knew about everything you're doing with this initiative. I've already picked up some shoes. I'm going to make sure I link up with you to give to you as well. But again, I wanted to get this out and let people hear it from you yourself. Again, this initiative that y'all have partnered with them. And for those who know how we like to do I call them give blacks in the mental dialogue community club, is with people who have boots on the ground. You know what I mean? And so I know you're seeing these cute kids. You were highlighting how one of them just really had you almost in tears one day or whatever, if you will. So again, just wanted to make it a real personal thing, and also, let people know how they can actually participate. And so I know, again, I think you were telling me about one of the kids had you, just kind of really touched your heart. So just share that story real quick, and then we'll let people know how they can donate and participate to make sure these kids start their first day of school with some new shoes.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to connect with a family that would be benefiting from this. And the child basically was like, "Oh, so you're the lady who's going to give us shoes, right?" And it's just like one of those things where it's like, at that moment, even though you're doing it, because this is a direct impact situation. This is not you're writing a check to the charity, you're getting your charity write off, whatever. This is literally you as a human saying, I want to do something for a child. And so when you see that and they know that that's something, that's an expectation that's coming, like honestly, the pressure is on for me right now, because I'm thinking to myself, if I don't get enough shoes for these kids, I'm gonna have to
Right.
clean my pocket and give out $25 vouchers for parents to be able to, do something for their children. So we have an opportunity. We've got some great people who are in our group. And in fact, one of them is with Georgia Banking Company.
Oh,
And they decided that it was okay for us to put a box in one of their locations in Duluth.
Love it.
We have a location in Duluth. If you know Georgia Banking Company and you go on Sugarloaf Parkway, we also have a flyer. You can literally take a brand new pair of shoes, for a kid. And again, thinking ages, like preschool through high school. And the high school kids, those are the hardest ones to get the shoes for because they're wearing adult sizes. And, drop those shoes off there. Also, another person who owns Generous Care Day Center in Lawrenceville is always one of our drop locations for things that we do. So that's something that's on McKendree Road, Church Road in Lawrenceville. Those are drop locations, but also on the flyer, we have a QR code. So what we did was we literally got a list from Rainbow Village of the sizes for the kids. So we went through and hand selected shoes that we thought could potentially be ones that these kids might. And some of them are sneakers, some of them are penny loafers. Some of the girls might like that sort of thing like that. So we're hoping, so if you can't drop them off, that's fine. Go on the wish list, grab a pair, and they come directly to me and my team so that we will actually deliver those shoes to Rainbow Village. Some people ask, can I donate cash? We're not taking any cash at this time for Rainbow Village. If you want to donate cash to them, you can go directly on their website, rainbowvillage.org, and you can do a direct donation there and then put Sisters in Business in the tagline, and they'll know, or shoe drive, and they'll know that it's for the shoe drive. So with that in mind, and why are we collecting new shoes versus used shoes? Because some people are like, oh, my kids have shoes. I get that, but you got to understand, some of these kids have never had a new pair of shoes.
Wow.
It is time for us to change the dynamic for these babies.
No, I love it. I mean, again, this is an initiative that, again, we could easily attach to. And so, again, I just wanted to make sure that we were sharing it. Like you said, for the older kids, so I made sure I at least a one size big enough for the kids, if you will. So, I picked up a few pair. I got to link up with you something for, so hopefully,
okay.
Yeah, definitely want to get these kids these new shoes because I understand that from a psychology standpoint. It was nothing like the first day of school. You really wanted to have, some fresh new shoes. It meant a lot. And so I never forgot that feeling. It still sticks with me. I still keep my shoes fresh, remembering that feeling.
Exactly.
And I never was necessarily, fortunate enough. I was never unhoused, but I definitely had some years where my shoes wasn't up to par, if you will, right? so that stuff sticks with you. So I know I love this initiative. Again, just wanted to share it. Matter of fact, let me put the flyer up again. I kind of showed it at the beginning.
One thing I did want to say real quick,
please,
is just a feeling for people to kind of understand. Kids can be really mean sometimes in school. They just can, right? Kids will pick on a piece of your hair being out of place. But imagine being somebody who's been in this situation. And I'll say this organization keeps it really nice where kids in other schools, they don't even know that these kids are in this situation, right? Wow, nice. Because they actually do a really good job of making sure that they're, aware of that. But at the same time, you go to school, your shoes are busted first day of school. Guess what? You're going to be the kid that got busted shoes on the first day of school. And that's going to stick with you. And think about what that does to a child's self-esteem. So if y'all can do this one thing for me, one thing, they're reasonably priced. If you look on the Amazon list and they're not ones that are even in your budget right now, that's totally fine. Because a lot of the ones that are, because I think the highest price we did was like $45 was the highest price we did. We had some that were like $20 or something like that. But if that's not something you can do, go to the store, pick up a pair. Even if we end up with extra, they are going to expand their location from 30 families to 60. That's something they have in the works. Y'all, we can do this. So I'm asking y'all, don't do it for me. Like, seriously, do it for kids.
I'm going to give a personal anecdote because it sticks with me, and it's particularly to shoes, matter of fact. So every year, I would get my one brand new pair of shoes, to your point, for the first day of school, right? And, just the situation I was in, I wasn't getting another pair. So I was always diligent about keeping my shoes clean. And I'm still like that to this day. But it came from that period as a kid, knowing I wasn't going to get a second pair quite often, like a lot of my friends or whatever. But my mom would leave the responsibility of my shoes to my father or whatever, right? My dad really was into name brand shoes, but he wouldn't necessarily get them for me or whatever. And so I literally remember prior to the school year, literally doing this several summers where I would go through the actual, remember we used to get those advertising in the newspaper. So I would go to the newspaper, get the advertising.
Yeah.
Yep. I would literally go through them and try to pick out just shoes that were not called, like buddies, if you will. We call them buddies, the ones that nobody liked or whatever. And I would just
Buddies,
try to,
Bobos,
yeah.
Skippies,
So I
yeah,
was
all
trying to
that.
pick out the shoes that were not considered that, but not too high price, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get like the best shoes like some of my friends got. But I was like, I would literally pick them out and try to give them to my father to say, can you at least get me these? Because I knew if I got those, I wouldn't be picked on.
Yeah.
And I did that every year until I got back to the 7th grade. My dad was short. I could start wearing his shoes. So all I did then, I would just get a pair of his, something that he didn't, whatever. They were still clean because my dad had so many, so they was all nice. And so that's what. But I remember the years before I could wear his size, I literally would do that every year, just not to be picked on. And again, it stuck with me. And so when I got to college, people still will be surprised at how long, to this day, I can keep shoes for years, because of that habit of having to keep one pair of shoes for an entire school season.
And you know what? And it's so funny you said it, because look, I was talking to you yesterday, and I said I'm a crybaby about stuff, right? So I'm about to cry. I'm trying not to cry right here, mess my makeup up. But it was interesting because as you're telling that story, I started reflecting back for myself. Mm-hmm. And I got picked on a lot when I was a kid. I got picked on a whole lot, different reasons, all kind of crazy stuff. But I just remember my dad when he bought me a pair of name brand shoes.
Yes.
And when I went to school, I didn't care what they thought about your girl. Okay. You couldn't tell me anything because my shoes were fresh.
I love it.
And that's what it was. And it was like, y'all can say whatever, but y'all don't have these. And it did so much to boost my confidence, to boost my esteem, to do all of that. So again, I just ask everybody, take a walk in their shoes and just imagine from that perspective what that would be like. Y'all spend $20 on coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like you spend $20 on, going to play poker or on the lottery or whatever. Get a pair of shoes for these kids. Let us know.
For those that just now tuning in, I'll put the flyer up, the shoe drive. We'll get out. Matter of fact, when it comes to shoes, I got a whole bunch of stories. I remember somehow my mother got me a pair of Nikes when I was in like the 3rd or 4th grade. I think it was, matter of fact, I remember them being at the dollar store. I remember
getting my first pair of Nikes too.
Right, but again, I didn't keep getting them. I just got them this one year. And I was like the fastest kid in my school, but I swore before God that those shoes made me faster than I ever had been. You know what I'm saying?
Lightning.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? And it was like 4 or 5 years before I ever got another pair, you know what I mean? But I never forgot. I thought they was the fastest shoes ever because they were, in my mind, fresh shoes. But it's all good. If you're just now tuned in, the shoe drive, if you will, Aleasa, tell them how they can actually get the shoes to you. It's a brand new shoe drive for a family of 30 transitional families in this transitional housing called the Rainbow Village. And they're actually making sure, Aleasa and Sisters in Business Network, they are making sure that these children are getting new shoes for their first day of school. I know the drive runs through July the 14th from what I see on the flyer. When are y'all actually giving this kids to the shoes to the kids? And the reason I'm asking is because I may ask the community club to bring some on the live experience like a few days later if we can still get them to you.
Yeah, I was going to extend that so that I could be at the community club event and people could actually bring shoes. I got to get them to them by that following Monday. Okay. So we're going to be all locked and loaded with everything then. So they can either bring them to the community club event.
Okay.
I'll volunteer you, Montoya. If they can't get to it, they can holler at you if they're in Atlanta. If you are north of the city, reach out to me and I will meet you if I have to pick up a pair of shoes. Or whatever. And then the other thing is you can always do the Amazon, which is there's a QR code on that flyer. So you can make that easier. You can pick one of the ones that's on the list, or you can pick some and just have them shipped or whatever you want to do. The other thing is Georgia Banking Company. Thank y'all so much for allowing us to have a box at your location on Sugarloaf Parkway. Also Generous Care Day Center in Lawrenceville on McHenry Church Road. Those are places where you can drop shoes off to. But again, we are asking for new shoes because we want these kids to start this off with not only they finally got a new place to live. Now let's get them moving with their self-esteem and their confidence. They're going to be part of our community. And I promise you, they will never forget that y'all did this.
No, I love it. Okay. I'm glad to know that. So I will add this drive to the Mental Dialogue Community Club live experience on July 19th. So for the members out there that get this video, if y'all are able to come show up on the 19th at Urban Grind, you can bring the shoes then. I'll bring a box, if you will, Aleasa, for that day if you're able to, or give me the box if you're not able to come.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you, Queen. Well, let's get these shoes
so
for these
much.
kids. This is an amazing event, an amazing opportunity, an amazing initiative that y'all are doing. So shout out to Sisters in Business Network. And as I always say, for closing out, all I ask is that you think. Thank you, Queen.
Thanks, Montoya. Bye.
All right.